Hi guys, and welcome to my unboxing video of the PlayStation Classic. It has a picture of the PlayStation Classic itself and some age restrictions, as you can see in here. There are 20 games pre-installed on the system itself. On the bottom we have the logo of PlayStation and some trademarks like HDMI and our model number as well. On the left side we have the contents and the model number again. So what's included? There is a PlayStation controller, the console itself, so two controllers, a USB cable and an HDMI cable, and also some printed materials like the manual. On the other side we have the model number again, the name of the console, and on the top we have some warnings. On the back of the box we have some symbols and the list of all the games that comes pre-installed. So here there is a warning, strong violence, and here are some games pre-installed. Like you can see in here, we have some pictures and names from the games. Cool Borders, just Grand Theft Auto, Jumping Flash, Metal Gear Solid, Rayman, Resident Evil, Ridge Racer, Wild Arms, Twisted Metal, yeah. Okay, so let's open the box now. There is nothing inside the box. Okay, over here we have a nice logo from PlayStation. Let's open this one. It's just another box with the PlayStation logo on it, but over here we can find the system and all the cables that are required to install and set up the PlayStation Classic. We have a manual in the box and how to set up the console. Instruction manual, so what every button does, etc. Let's take out the PlayStation Classic. It's another box. There are like 3 boxes. So over here we have the classic system itself. It feels very small and lightweight. The buttons work quite well. Okay. The box is damaged. So over here we have the HDMI cable to connect the PlayStation Classic to a monitor or a TV. We have 2 controllers, so you can play games with a friend. This is the second controller, and over here we have the USB cable to power the system. It's a micro USB cable. I don't understand why they didn't choose for USB-C. And over here we have the total package that comes with the box. So now I'm going to compare the PlayStation 1 to the PlayStation Classic. Both PlayStation models are small in size. So first let's compare them by size. As you can see, the PlayStation Classic is just a little bit thinner than the PlayStation 1. But it's not that of a difference anyway. It has a smaller form factor as well. The PlayStation Classic is very lightweight and feels pretty empty inside. The PlayStation 1, on the other hand, feels more sturdy, but is heavier, although it's pretty lightweight as well. On the one, you will find a button to open the disk drive, and a reset button that functions as a button to turn off and on the system as well. On the one, you will find the open button as well, but the reset button is separated from the power button. When you press the button, the disk drive won't open. With the PlayStation 1, it opens. These buttons are used to quit the game or turn off the system. There is an LED on both devices. As for the ports on the front, there are two USB ports on the Classic and a pin connector on the PlayStation 1, as you can see in here. It has 9 pins. This is the controller for the PlayStation 1. Let's compare this. You can see the PlayStation Classic is smaller. The port is very small. Let's compare the controllers now. The Classic controller weighs a lot less. The one controller has dual analog sticks on the front and an analog button to activate the sticks. These analog sticks are also available on newer controllers. The Classic controller is thinner, but both feels very good in a hand while gaming. The hand palm grips are also thinner on the Classic controller. So this was my comparison of the PlayStation Classic and the PlayStation 1. So what do we need? First we need our USB cable, an HDMI cable, the PlayStation Classic, and a controller itself. I will use an HDMI cable that is installed behind my monitor already. Let's take this off. Remove the plastic sack from the cable, and then we will use this cable to power the system. But first we need to remove this plastic rope. We need to stretch out the cable a little bit. I will plug this USB port in my AC adapter under my desk. This cable, this part of the cable needs to be plugged in over here. And our HDMI cable over here. So let's do this. It's a very short HDMI cable for my monitor. And now power the system. Connect our controller, otherwise we won't be able to select anything or play a game. So connect the controllers to the system. Now we have to power the PlayStation Classic. It's this button over here, and the light will the LED will turn green, so the system will turn on now. It will ask you which language we speak. I will choose for English. We see a button guide over here. So how to turn on and off the console, how to quit the game, and so on. So let's play a game now. Let's choose for Grand Theft Auto. Is it just me, or is the game running at a lower frame rate than the original PlayStation? It runs very poor. Let's quit the game. So let's go back to the menu, and we have a digital memory card to save the game. Let's try another game. Let's pick the time attack or something. It's just an example to show you the game. Wow, this game runs a lot smoother. Maybe GTA isn't optimized well for the PlayStation Classic. Such a shame for this price point. I paid €100 for it, so I expect it to be smooth for every game. This one is really good. It runs smoother than GTA. So let's quit. Uh, we have an option to resume the game. So it calls resume point. We have a digital memory card, like I said before. Um, we can display a guide from the game. We can change settings from the console itself. Let's check out the settings. What you can do in here. Uh, So we have a classic controller here and the classic system over here. It's a great system, although there are only 20 games pre-installed. What if you want to install more games or a more fluid emulation experience? Uh, well, there is a Raspberry Pi 3 for it. You can install as much as you want, and it will also emulate in a higher frame rate than a PlayStation Classic. But will our controller work with the Raspberry Pi? Well, the controller uses an USB cable and we have a USB port over here, but also on our Raspberry Pi. So let's find out. First, we need to boot the Raspberry Pi and connect the controller on the USB port. It's RetroPi installed to emulate the game software from all kind of consoles. In here we have to press the X button for a couple of seconds. I will show you. So the X button. I already connected mine with it, but I will show you what you need to do. Don't worry. Mine is configured already, so it's automatically detected. So you will see this screen for the first time when you want to connect the controller with the system. We have to press the X button again, and then we have to press the buttons that need to be configured. So D-pad down, D-pad left, D-pad right, start, select. And over here we have something special. As you can see, we see A, B, X, but we don't have that on our controller, so I will take the manual for that. You can find it on the Raspberry, the RetroPi website, but I will do this together with you. The A is actually the round, then the X, triangle, and the square. These are the triggers right trigger, yeah. As you can see, it is asking for analog sticks, but our controller doesn't have any. So we need to skip that part by pressing the X button for 2 seconds. And it will not define any buttons to it. It is very important to use the select button as our hotkey. So we press the select button. Okay, now it's configured and we can start to play games. I will show you a game. As you can see, the game is detecting our configuration. So we can play the game with the controller, as you can see. And we can now play the game. You can see that every button works perfectly. It fires, it throws bombs, you can see the map. So every button works perfectly with the game. I can fire. It's a fun game, by the way. It's a little bit harder to shoot without the analog sticks. So it's destroyed. What if we want to go back to RetroPi? Let's leave this mission. So we have to press our select button and start button at the same time. Remember, this will only work when you selected the select button as our hotkey button.